Hi everyone, this is Jobenblue with the first impression of the SHF Bardock. Yeah, there's some things I don't like about the design. We'll talk about it. I got this for like 48 bucks during a GameStop sale, which was really cool. Side of the box, here's the back. Very cool. I know we've been asking for Bardock forever. And I will explain why the green looks like that, because I did figure it out. If we look in here, we get these little blurbs about these. Yeah, this has already come out, but it's $88. And of course, another blurb about P. Bandai. You have this like maroonish, reddish insert, I assume to go along with his little bands. You have the paper here. They introduced the swappable ear gimmick, and then they never actually went back and did it for like hardly anyone else. I really wish they had done that for like the Ginyu Force and stuff like that. Swap out the hands. I always wondered how they would do the hands, but they did just cast the bands around the arms, which is I'm totally fine with. So the first thing I want to look at with Bardock here is the hair, and specifically how it all works here. You can see it's cast for the red bandana, which both is and is not a problem. I'm going to see just how this other hair piece works. It may fix the issue that I am going to talk about. There's only one band, so you have to swap that between all the different faces. Yeah, I couldn't figure it out the first time I was recording this, but what you do is you take off this hair piece, which is labeled number 1, and then you pop off the face, then you pop off the red band, and then you take out the scouter, and then you pop in the ear, like that. You stick the red band on top of here, and then you stick this in here, and then you use the one labeled as number 2, and you put that on over here, and you just kind of gotta force it on. You can use hairpiece number 1 for both of them. The main difference between the two is you can see that hair spike goes down, and this one is more curved for the scouter. So that's like the only difference between the two different hair pieces. I guess I got distracted and never mentioned it, but what I was looking for was to change from the red bandana look to a look that did not have the red bandana. I think that's a problem of Figuarts both trying to do too much and also not enough with this figure. So I'm going to talk about why I think this is the case. What you need to know is that there is a Bardock special that came out in the 90s. And there is the episode of Bardock that came out in 2011. So let's talk about why this is kind of a problem. He specifically has this look in the Bardock special between the times of 2247 and 2558. And then he never looks like this again. Okay, if you swap over to the ear, you could say that it is the episode of Bardock, and he has this look for almost the entirety of the episode of Bardock special before he, spoilers, turns Super Saiyan and then immediately gets his clothes blown off like he did at the end of the Bardock special. It's like at the same time they did 100 different things with this Bardock figure. They're like, we want to have a Bardock special Bardock, as well as we want to have the episode of Bardock special Bardock, and then all this other kind of stuff. And it just doesn't. I think they should have done 2 releases of Bardock, which is what I'm eventually going to get at. Okay, so this green, everyone says that this green looks absolutely freaking stupid, right? The reason why is because this is extremely close to the episode of Bardock. So that's where this specific green comes from. This is an episode of Bardock, okay? It works great for episode of Bardock. but it does not work for Bardock's special because that one had the deeper, darker green that everyone is so mad that this one does not have. Because of the way everything works, like up until 2247 or whatever I said, Bardock does not have the red headband because he gets tapped in the back of the head and then he leaves and then he comes back and then he finds Toa and he rubs Toa's blood into the band and then he starts wearing the band. He fights with the Frieza Force for a minute and then he gets the shit beat out of him. And then he immediately goes from the look with the scouter to the battle damaged one, and he has that for the rest of it. So there is never a point where he does have the red bandana, okay? And I know this is like, well, this is so stupid. Why are you complaining about this? I'll get to it, okay? So for an episode of Bardock, this is perfect, okay? Like, it's weird, pukey, yellow-green, matches up pretty freaking close to what he has in episode of Bardock. I'm looking at it right now, and they are extremely similar, because it's definitely like they used the green from the episode of Bardock, but they also used it as like the one whenever he's fighting Frieza. They're basically taking the episode of Bardock, giving him the scouter, and then also saying that this is what they're using for the look for the Bardock special. So, okay, the whole release is just stupid and botched. What they should have done is made this one be the blue pants and battle damage and Bardock whenever he's fighting Frieza. And they should have made a second one that has these episode of Bardock clean looking colors and then given that one the SSJ body. But now it's all fucked up, so they pretty much just have to, like, if they want to do this properly, they would have to make a botched release either way, because the pants are botched on this one. What you should do is make a second Bardock that is SSJ, and give it the battle damaged body, swappable band, or if you don't want to do a swappable band, just give us the two red ones, because I honestly didn't even know that this one was blown off until I just looked at it now. And then give us the blue pants, and make it battle damaged. So a battle damaged, deeper green SSJ with the red band or a swappable piece with the blue pants and make it look like the 90s version. And then that's how you fix everything. If you really wanted to, you can include another head with this, but honestly, as much as I complained about the 2247 and the 2558 or whatever the hell it was, you're never really going to have Bardock without the red bandana. It's so iconic. I'm fine with saying that this is from episode of Bardock, but we still do very much need a battle damaged Bardock. And then whenever we get it, we'll swap it over and just use that. That's the second release that you should do of Bardock. That's why I think it's still important to talk about Bardock, because we need the second release. The black pants suck, and these are definitely black pants. Whatever, I can take it or leave it. Just give the battle damage one the dark blue or whatever, or you can still use the lighter blue, but it's definitely a blue. It's definitely a blue. Now that whole rant tangent is out of the way, let's talk about the actual Bardock figure. Again, I have not played with this thing at all. I got it for $48 during a GameStop special, and that's why I usually don't do first impressions on these, especially because the overseas gets it a month before us. Like, Birder's already out, and then we just got Birder delayed. There's that thing I was talking about when the Raditz first impression, about how everyone just pushes on the shins, and luckily Bardock covers up nicely and things like that. But yeah, that's why I usually don't do first impressions for these, because I get them so much later than everyone else. That's an insane toe bend. I mean, I'm totally fine with it because it doesn't hyperextend or anything. They did that perfectly where it's specifically cut so you can't hyperextend it. I think it looks nice. There's it's not an ankle rocker, I don't think. It's more like just a ball, like what you find on the Azro, which is fine, just not ideal. You still do get a good amount of upward and downward pivot. It's not perfect by any means, but still pretty good. I mean, that toe bend is just doing so much for this figure right now. I think it looks great. I'm specifically avoiding the arms because that's where everyone breaks theirs at. But the tolerances on this one are fine. This one is tighter than this one. This one's kind of loose. And I think this is where all the Vietnam memes came from, because Bardock was made in Vietnam, and so I don't know. Everyone says they don't like Vietnam in terms of production of this. Okay, my arms are moving nicely so far. Let's twist them. Okay. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Nope. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Hell no. I'll talk about it. Okay, you got the that double use. So there's the first one. There's the second one. This arm's actually kind of loose. Not like a ton, but it's definitely noticeable. Still use the ugly style. I think that the way that this one was made, they definitely should have used the good ones on it. Oh, that is nasty tight. What I've been doing for these wrist balls is actually just using silicone oil down there, and then I can usually get it to move. Man, I see why you guys wanted me to talk about this one. Oh my god. What'd you do? Cast this in plastic and then paint it? The hell? I don't want to test that theory, but I bet it's true. Is the other arm any better? God. Even that one was tight. What the hell? Definitely, they painted over it. At least on those. This is not bending. All right, we'll mess with that in a second. Let's see. Did they give it the good Saiyan bodies? Because I mean, they've perfected this before. It shouldn't be a problem. Just give it Saiyan armor trunkses, and then add on the things on the side, and it'll be good. Wow! You gotta be kidding me! All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off for you people that are nagging in the comments, and just pray that it doesn't scrape itself. Okay, for all you people who ask, why do I leave the paint protectors on? Do you see that? It is now damaged. I don't know if that's because I did that. I mean, like, that's definitely rubbing right there. But the bigger problem here is that these things are not top-coated. Like with my Raditz, I know I talked about it during that one, where some people did actually scrape the crap out of theirs. Like, mine was fine, but I know I saw images from a Japanese reviewer who, like, did that to theirs, and there was, like, it was completely marred. So, I mean, you even see it right there too. So this one isn't like terrible, but that's usually why I leave paint protectors on. Top coat would fix this super easy. I just have not bought any top coat yet. I'm probably going to after this video, but yeah. You can see that that nub right there. Yeah, that's a catapult joint stopper nub. It's not necessary, but I'm still going to cut it off while I'm in there anyways. Which, I mean, you still get good range out of it, like a decent enough range. All right, these are both going to be part of the conversation now. Okay. Just to reiterate, this is after the modification of cutting out the catapult joint stopper. Okay. And this is Bardock before I cut out the catapult. Kind of pathetic, honestly. I think a problem with this one is, like, I'm worried that right there is going to scrape the paint. And so it's still not the best. So we're about to cut out a catapult joint. So that's cool. Okay, so everything else is fine. It's just where the rectangle muscle connects into the shoulder that is just, it's ridiculous tight. And I understand now why everyone breaks theirs. The waist, how did they do the waist? Please tell me they gave it the good waist. And they did. You see that? I know that they used the hinge in here. Yeah. The waist is good. This is definitely black. I've been trying to look for like a deeper blue, but like which one of these is blue and which one of these is black? Exactly. So this is definitely the wrong kind of blue. I would have been happier with this kind of blue, actually. That looks kind of cool. If I understood how this hinge system worked a little bit better, I might actually try it. You can see that metal thing right there. It's definitely a hinge. I can't find it on this one, but I'm sure it's got the same system. Yeah, I see a very small glint off of it. Yeah, it's definitely on hinge system, which is good. This tail is actually a different tail. It's like usually what they do, you can see it on Raditz. They did it for Raditz, but this one is just like different. The tail that's on there is just molded together, and then it slots into this one. I would assume it's for the hinge down here, so you can do that, and you still have the thing, and then you can also just come back and fix it and plug it back in like that, and you get that fixed. It's just the arms and the catapult joint that I have to go in there and cut off. So I'm gonna go ahead and go do that now. All right, so for a detail of this process, the first thing I did was I took off everything that I could. I can't get this belt off because it's pegged in there. But what I'm gonna have to do now is I'm gonna probably try and take the hair off just so I can get that female ready for if we do get the SSJ or if I just decide to buy the demoniacal fit. But I've taken off all the hair and all the pieces that I can get off without heat treatment. And so I stuck a cup in the microwave for about a minute and a half, and I don't know if that's hot enough. It might be not hot enough. I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah, I put that in there for a minute and a half, but I think it is too hot. So I'm going to drop an ice cube in there. What you don't want to do is you don't want to leave it in there too long, because what's going to happen is that there's a potential that you burn off the finish of the figure, and the only way to fix it is, I think, hydrogen peroxide, but you don't want to get into that situation like I did. Alright, so now I'm at a point where I can leave my fingers in there for just a little bit, and it's hot, but it's not nearly as hot as it just was. I can't give you specifics on what to use, because unless you're at my specific elevation with this specific microwave, using this specific cup, it's not going to work, just because laws of thermodynamics and shit like that. Okay, so this is enough where I can leave my hand in there. It's like hotter than lukewarm, definitely. I would consider this both a success and a failure, and I will tell you how to fix it, or at least not make it happen like this. Okay, so what happened was the connection between the male and female was tighter on the top of the head ball as compared to the bottom of the neck ball. So I pulled it off, and it took off the whole assembly with it. One way that you can prevent this is by using needle nose pliers, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's so malleable in this state that any little thing like that you use is going to scar the shit out of it. So you see those little teeth on there? You don't want one with teeth, okay? You want one without teeth. I mean, you could wrap that over in painter's tape or something, but the point is, if you use anything with teeth, it's gonna scar the shit out of this. So you just gotta be really careful. I got the head off the neck ball, and now I can treat this and get ready for the demoniacal fit or the second release that's coming out. Hopefully, I'll try to work with it, but it might be not hot enough now, which is weird. It's this weird little gray area. Just keep in mind, if it's too hot for your hands, it's too hot for your figure. Well, I got lucky, and there is not any scarring on this one, but I did use one with the teeth, and I got it to break, so that's good. Break in a good way, not in a bad way. So now I am maybe going to heat this up more. I'm just going to set this in there for a while. I mean, ideally, I'd only have it to where it really needs to be in. You don't want to have anything else submerged, because if you screw this up, the tolerances won't fit right. You can always fix it with blue tack or silicone oil, but you don't want to get to that point at all. So I'm going to keep this in there a minute and see what the hell happens. What I'm trying to do is get to a point where the connection between the rectangle muscle and the shoulder is loose enough that I can just pull it off. You can see there a bubble just came out. So I'll be back when that's out. Well, at least we know that the arm can pop off. It's okay. I can totally fix this. I mean, I'm used to this kind of stuff. I used to do this kind of stuff with bootlegs and stuff. Actually, this is almost better because I was more concerned about... I'm pretty sure that this is painted. So with this part being off, I don't really care how long I leave this in the water. I mean, like, that is way too hot. But it needs to be, because I mean, are you kidding me? It pulled off of the shoulder pulled off of the body before the muscle pulled off of the shoulder. I mean, is there no QC? You couldn't do anything with the Bardock. Maybe it's different in a factory, but I know when Bluefin played with theirs, they should have been like, whoa, this Bardock's messed up. We should totally tell Tamashii to take these back and fix them and delay the release of Bardock. I know you don't want to. I know that sounds terrible, but I mean, it's better than this. As far as figures go, that was definitely the worst one I've ever worked on. In case you've never seen the inside of an SHF, now you have that opportunity. It's basically, this is the shoulder, and then it has this piece around it, and then it has this one, like this, and it goes in there, and then you have the arm that goes in there. And that's how the SHF arm system works. This is what customizers do to get them torn down so that they can repaint them or whatever. So before I mess with the arms, we're going to take care of this catapult joint. So this nub right here is the problem that we're trying to get rid of. Because what it does, because it limits the articulation because they don't want it to break up the sculpt. You see that right there versus that right there. I don't give a shit about that. I'm more bothered by the fact that they reuse the Azro plastic and the UI than I am the fact that there's this huge gap there. Okay? These limiters are stupid, so I'm just going to cut this off. I got a pair of nippers here. These are like high-grade Gundam nippers. You should totally get them. And so I'm just going to go in here. Alright, there. It is now unlimited. I think. Okay. So this should just pop back in. Look at that beautiful range. Oh no, it breaks up the sculpt. Who cares? Who cares? It's got the black in there, so it looks nicer. Okay, looks great. So compare Bardock before to Bardock now. And once you figure out how to manipulate the catapult, it's really easy and better to have that. So this part is also connected to the arm like this. So I need a drill bit set. Okay, this is just the one I have. So the real question is, why does this happen? I'm going to guess it has to do with this, so I'm going to try and figure out what the size of this one is. I just guessed, and I was right. It is a 3/32. So just to re-illustrate, it goes like this. So it'll go through here, and then it'll go on to the shoulder. Honestly, this one might be a problem too, so I might want to check this female first. Okay, let's see how well this one pops on. That's really tight. I think it's this female that might be the problem. You see that little residue right there? I'm not saying that's it, but it might be, and if I'm wrong, who cares, because I can just use blue tack. So I want to find what measures up to this one, and I'm going to guess it is the 7/64, and I am wrong. So is it the 1/8? I think it's bigger than 1/8, but I'm going to start with 1/8 just to see. Yeah, 1/8 goes through there just fine. Now let's check the 9/64, which they're probably using metric anyways, so I'm getting a little bit, but not a ton. Let's see, does that match up? It's even bigger than that, so maybe it's the 5/32. I just got lucky with this drill bit set. That looks pretty freaking close. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here with this one, and just so I'm gonna start with that, and then I'm gonna put this on here. Okay, that fits in there, and that fits in there. And the tolerances are definitely better, so I bet that was the problem. So now we're going to check Let's go ahead and check this tolerance as well while I'm already here. This one right here, we already established that that was the 3/32, I believe. Okay, so not that one. It's this one, which, yeah, this is a 3/32. Lines up great with that one. So now I'm going to go into here. And, ooh, yeah, that one's a bit tight. All right, so that one should be carved out just a little bit better. I'm worried that I'm about to hit this inner right here. You see that? It goes from big outer, small, big again. I'm worried that I'm going to accidentally drill that out. So that tolerance is fine. Okay, and let's check this one. Okay, that seems to work. There usually says something on here as well, if this is right or left, so I'm going to check that too. This one does not seem to have a marker, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, it has to be. Okay, so this is this one. I mean, there are times where the companies will accidentally put the wrong arm onto the wrong one, so that's is a concern. So I'm just going to try and line that in. Trying to find a hole in the dark. I'm an idiot. Okay. That one goes in there. And then you see they're keyed so that they only go in the one way. So for this one, it's like this. You hear that snap. And the arm is definitely rotating a lot better now. I like the tolerance on these two, so if anything, I would just go back and heat it up so I can get this one in, which I think I'm going to have to do. Nope, got it in. Okay, cool. So that should be Bardock fixed now.
Yeah, so I just put it back together wrong. So now I have a better appreciation as to why that one TN was so messed up. Because I guess it is kind of easy to just get those flipped around, but just to make sure that everything lines up. And I was lucky enough that the tolerances were easy, that I could just pop it out and just swap it around super easy like that. So just be careful, make sure that they line up, and so you don't pull a TN.
And as I said earlier, I was able to break these. I mean, they're still not the best. Okay. Okay, it's working fine for now, so. I was right. I was right. Okay, I'm not happy I was right, but I was right nonetheless. This is the waste ball. Jesus Christ. Tamashi, there's a reason why people say quit using this stupid fucking system. Do you see that? Why would you design it to where only half the ball works? Use magnets or something. Use Jiren. Use double balls. Use anything except this stupid piece of shit. God. Alright. While we're here, I guess I'm going to work on this one too. And I guess it seems more keyed to the 3/32, which I already have out somewhere. The problem here is that they painted, and paint, like, you don't think that paint does enough, but it does enough whenever we're talking this scale that it'll just mess stuff up. Is that actually the right one? See how it's white right there? That's not good. That's never what we want to see. Do I try for this one? Blue tack was a bad idea in this case, I guess. Easy way to remove it. Just, it sticks to itself and not much else. So I'm just going to stuck that in there and yank, and it should come out. Okay, so I'm going to try this without blue tack, which is unfortunate. Don't get me wrong, I'm still pissed, but it's functional now. Somewhat. I'm going to guess the problem was the tolerances here again. I'm going to check these again just because, like with Raditz, they were not keyed to the same size. So that is a concern. The left arm of Raditz was a 9/16 and the other one was like a, or whatever it was. Just watch the Raditz video, you know what I'm talking about. So they're not always keyed to the same thing. So I'm just checking their keys to make sure that they're proper before I stick them back in. It always goes better the second time, too. Cool. Yeah, so the problem with it was this little thing right here. That one, the female was too tight, is basically the problem. The male's too big. Either one works. Well, no, it doesn't, but it's for whenever we actually run into that. Okay, so the arms do seem to be working properly now. I'm not going to mess with the wrist on that. I mean, it sucks that it turned out the way it did. This one actually works a lot better now that I've broken it. So I don't know what the exact problem was with the other one. I mean, you saw how it was like bent in, kind of stupid. So maybe what happened was I used silicone, and whenever I twisted it, it might have marred the plastic a little bit. That's why you saw the white problem on there. If plastic ever shows up as white, you know it's about to break. So that's what the concern there is. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick the other hand on. Cool. Just because I know I don't want to risk Bardock anymore, so I'm probably just always gonna take it off and then twist it around. Because usually what you can do is you can manipulate it like let's see, it's currently keyed up and down, so you can go up here, you can twist it, and now it should be keyed a different direction. Foosh does it in a lot of his reviews. That's where I picked it up from. But you don't have to take the wrist off in order to manipulate where it's lined up on. Like you can see there, it's lined up and down like that. So I can come up here and then hopefully twist it around. And yeah, I can get it kind of keyed a different way. But for Bardock, I'm not going to be able to do that. So if I ever want to key this different, I'm probably just going to take it off. Is that white? Is that white? Kind of looks white down there. I will mess with this on my own time. Um, but that's Bardock. I mean, to an extent, it's fun, but to an extent, it's so freaking scary to mess with. Bardock was not ready. They should have delayed it. No one cares. Give us the better figure. I'd rather have the better figure as opposed to buying a brand new figure 2 years down the line, opening it, doing all this shit to it, and then it breaks, and then you're not going to give me a refund because you don't have any more left. So just do the recall. Nobody cares. Like, it sucks. But if you just say, hey, we're going to postpone Bardock because it has some QC issues, fine. You know, it's better. Because, like, I've done this with so many figures up to this point, so I don't care that I have to deal with this much, but I know that the average consumer is not going to want to do all this to their figures. They want to open up Bardock, they want to play with it. I mean, I want to open up Bardock and play with it. I hope that whenever I get Frieza's fine. But I mean, the average consumer is just so annoyed by this. Not all of them are going to be engineers who give a shit how the clock ticks. They just want a good clock, you know? Please, just delay figures, fix them, give us good releases. I really don't want to mess with this anymore on camera because I'm afraid the wrist pegs are going to break. I guess I'll test one. But this is the same kind of issue I ran into with Demoniacal Fit, where Dragon Ball Super Android 18 had the painted hands, and they dip painted them instead of just casting them in the plastic. So they had the same kind of problems. You can tell that they dip painted these, so I'm probably going to mess with this in my spare time as well. That's pretty much Bardock. Give us a second one. Give us the Bardock Special Battle Damaged with the deep green and the SSJ and the blue pants, and then we can come back and head swap them between the two, because head swapping is pretty easy, and most of us were just going to buy the Demoniacal Fit anyways, so I think that that one's definitely fine. Or you could just do a second one that's P Bandai and make it $75 and include the SSJ head, as well as just like another Bardock Battle Damaged or something, and include the accessory. Or just take this one, give it the SSJ, give some more SSJ faces, and we'll call it good from there. We need another Bardock. That's the whole point of this. We need another Bardock. We need battle damage. We need SSJ. These are important things to the character. I understand that you wanted to do the episode of Bardock green, but people do want a deeper green. Okay? Do another Bardock. It's not that hard. This has been Jobenblue. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.